The problem states you are given 4 points on a graph. Derive the polynomial function that contains these 4 points. These points are x equals -6 and y equals 3, x equals 1 and y equals -7, x equals 0 and y equals 1, and x equals 2 and y equals 5. So to perform this, we use Newton's divided differences interpolation of polynomials. The first level, what we're going to do is we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that's going to give us -7 minus 3 divided by the quantity 1 minus -6. And that's going to give us -10 over 7. Next, we're going to do y3 minus y2 and x3 minus x2. So this is now going to be 1 minus -7 and 0 minus 1. And then the next step we're going to do is we're going to do y4 minus y3 divided by the quantity x4 minus x3. That is now going to give us 5 minus 1 divided by the quantity 2 minus 0. And that's going to give us 2. At the second level, we're now going to take these values and subtract them in the numerator. But the process of finding what's going to be in the denominator revolves a little bit of nodes and graph understanding. So here we have x3 minus x1. But how can we justify this? In order to do this, let's determine each of these data points into a node. First, we're going to say that this value is a node and it's connected to its 2 inputs in the first level. And each of those levels is connected to its x and y inputs here. In order to get the first value that we're going to subtract, we're going to traverse the graph like so. You saw the blinking points, so we'll go here, and then here, and then we're going to get the x value, so it's going to be 0. And then we're going to do the same thing going up as far as we can go. And that takes us to -6. So as a result, it's going to be 0 minus -6 in the denominator. In the numerator, it's -8 minus -10 divided by 7. And this gives us 23 over 21. To get the same thing for the second value, we're going to create nodes for all of these values. And now we're going to traverse the graph again, going as low as we possibly can to get the first value. So we follow this and we get to x2. And then we follow these values here and we get to 1. And that gives us 2 minus 1 in the denominator. 2 minus -8 is in the numerator from the first level, and that gives us 10. To do the third level, we are once again going to set up this equation of y over x, create a node that allows us to perform graph traversal. Just like before, we want to go as low as possible and then as high as possible, which means we're going to go 1, then 2, then 3, and this will take us to 2, as the animation will show. And then we're going to do the same thing going up. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and that'll take us to -6. Therefore, the denomination will be 2 minus -6. In the numerator, we have 10 minus 23 over 21. And that value comes out to be 187 over 168. Plugging that into the Newton's equation, we are able to derive the polynomial that contains all of those points.